Rain hammered the alley like nails, cold and punishing, as Isabel Monroe stumbled barefoot over broken glass. Her breath came ragged. The folder pressed to her chest was soaked, the edges bleeding ink. A car door slammed behind her. "Isabel!" David Langston's voice cut the night, calm, terrifying. "Hand me the documents and we go home." She darted behind a dumpster, slipped, and crashed to her knees. Pain exploded up her shin. She forced herself up, one palm sliding across wet brick. Headlights swept the walls. The alley narrowed toward the street one chance. She sprinted, ankle screaming, and collided with a figure rounding the corner. Strong hands steadied her. A man, mid-30s, rain in his lashes, an old firefighter's jacket thrown over a flannel. Beside him, a little girl held a pink umbrella decorated with stars. I need help," Isabel whispered. "Please. He'll find me." The man glanced down the alley. Footsteps. Another voice. "Dad." The girl's gaze flicked from Isabel to the growing light. He drew Isabel behind him.
"I'm Tyler."
"This is my daughter, Lily," he said softly. "Who's after you?" "My husband," she said, breath shivering. He's dangerous." The footsteps quickened. David's shadow elongated across the rain-slick concrete. "Isabel," he called, syrup sweet. "There you are. You're injured. Give me the folder." Tyler shifted his stance, not aggressive, anchored. "We're leaving," he said. "She doesn't want to go with you." David smiled like a camera flash. "Do you know who I am?" "Doesn't matter," Tyler replied. She said no. A long beat. Rain hissed. Then David's smile died. "You'll regret this." He stepped back into the light, a black car idling behind him. He climbed in, the door shut. The car slid away, taillights fading like coals. Isabel collapsed against the wall, relief and terror twisting together. "He'll be back," she said. "He always comes back." "Not tonight," Tyler said. He shrugged off his jacket and draped it over her shoulders. It smelled like smoke and clean laundry. "You're shaking. You need warmth." "We can take her home," Lily said, very solemn under her pink stars. "That's what Mom would have done." Isabel blinked. "I don't want to bring trouble to you." "Trouble's already out here," Tyler said. "Come on. It's 3 blocks." He offered his arm. She took it. They moved through Seattle's watery neon. Storefronts blurred, sidewalks shining like black glass. Isabel's ankle buckled. Tyler caught her. "Hurts." "Just keep going," she said. The folder slipped. Tyler steadied it. Please don't open that." "Wasn't going to." He tucked it under his jacket as if it were fragile bone. At an aging brick walk-up, they climbed a narrow stairwell. Tyler's keys jingled. Inside, warmth hugged Isabel's damp skin. The apartment was small but gentle. Books stacked in soft towers, coloring pages taped to the fridge, a plant valiantly leaning toward a rain-streaked window. "Bathrooms there," Tyler said. "Towels in the cabinet. I'll make tea." "Lily, slippers." "Got it," Lily murmured, already scampering. In the mirror, Isabel flinched at the stranger staring back. Mascara washed into bruised crescents, a cut at her temple, rain-flattened hair. She cleaned the wound with trembling hands. When she stepped out, Lily was waiting with fuzzy gray slippers. "They're warm," Lily said. "Like pancakes." "Thank you." Isabel's voice cracked. "I don't know how to thank you." Tyler poured tea into a chipped blue mug. "Sugar?" "Yes, please." Her fingers wouldn't stop shaking.
"I'm Isabel."
"Nice to meet you, Isabel," Tyler said, as if the night were ordinary. "You're safe here." From the hall, the storm's fury softened to a steady drum. Isabel cradled the mug. "He's rich," she said. "He thinks money is permission. He wants the company, wants my name, my vote, my silence." She swallowed. "I married a camera flash and woke up to a shadow." Tyler didn't ask for details. He pointed gently at her ankle. "May I look?" She nodded. He crouched, rolled the soaked hem of her trousers, and examined the swelling. "Sprain. We've got an ace wrap somewhere." He glanced at Lily. Medical kit? In the hallway box, Lily said, already darting away. You're calm, Isabel said, holding herself very still. Old job, Tyler replied. Firefighter. Paramedic. He rapped her ankle with quiet competence. Been out of that for a while. Now I build things. Cabinets. Fences. Dollhouses. He added, glancing at Lily, who beamed. Mom loved dollhouses, Lily said. She said tiny doors open big hearts. Then she bit her lip, as if she'd said too much. Tyler's hand paused a fraction of a second. Lily's mom passed away, he said gently, tying off the wrap. Cancer.
I'm sorry, Isabel whispered.
Me too, Lily said simply. But we draw stars. It helps. Isabel looked at the folder on the table. Her grip tightened. These files prove what he's doing, she said. Shell companies. Stolen donations. If I take them public, I lose everything. If I don't, I lose myself. Tyler stood, meeting her eyes. You won't be alone. Something inside her unclenched. Frightened her more than the rain. Stay tonight, he said. We have a pull-out couch. In the morning, if you want, we'll make a plan. Dad makes the best pancakes, Lily added. Like the slippers. Isabel's laugh surprised her. Okay. One night. Good, Tyler said, and the word was a promise. If stories of quiet courage and second chances matter to you, tap subscribe now, like this video, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from. It helps this story reach someone who needs it. They pulled out the couch. Lily brought a blanket patterned with constellations. Stars keep scary away, she whispered. Thank you, Isabel said again. 2 words she felt building a home inside her. You're welcome, Lily said, and hugged her around the waist, careful of the bandage. Good night, new friend. In the dark, the city hummed. Isabel stared at the ceiling, thunder crooning somewhere distant. She held the folder against her heart, as if it were a second heartbeat. Memories eddied up. The night David had slid the prenup across the table like a threat. The party where he'd smiled while pressing her elbow hard enough to bruise. The boardroom, a cold theater, her name wielded like a weapon. She had built a life on glass and light. Now she wondered if all along, she'd been a ghost inside it. Tyler's footsteps crossed the hall. He paused. Do you need anything? She considered saying no, the safe word of a trapped life. Maybe water, she said instead. He returned with a glass. His hand brushed hers. She noticed a pale scar on his forearm, old and thin. He noticed her notice it. Kitchen fire, he said. Everyone lived. I retired after Lily's mom got sick. Trade one kind of running into danger for another. Thank you for stopping tonight, she said. You didn't have to. I don't know how to watch someone run and not run with them, he said simply. When he left, Isabel slept. She dreamed of rain turning to stars, of a child's hand fitting a tiny door on a tiny house, and of a man standing in a doorway like a lighthouse. Morning came pink and clean. The storm wrung out of the sky. Pancakes simmered, coffee steamed. A small radio crooned old songs. Tyler slid a plate toward Isabel. Try these. She took a bite and closed her eyes. They taste like mornings I don't remember having. Good, Tyler said, cheeks warming. Lily plopped beside them. I made the syrup warm. It's perfect, Isabel said. Tyler nodded toward the folder. You want to talk next steps? She opened it. The papers fanned like wings. He's been moving charity money through shell companies into projects he controls, she said. He needs my signature on a merger to wash it clean. Her hands steadied as she spoke. I can go to the board. If I resign publicly and deliver this, they'll be forced to open an investigation. Where? Tyler asked. Langston Tower, she said, and the name felt heavier than the building. Downtown. Then we plan. You don't walk in alone. He slid a notepad across the table. We list what you need. A lawyer, a ride, copies of everything, and a place to come back to after. She didn't realize she was crying until Lily reached across the table and handed her a napkin. We can make a fort when you come back, Lily said. Forts make brave. Isabel laughed through tears. Deal. They photocopied the documents at a corner print shop. Tyler kept one set. Isabel tucked another into a slim leather folio. She borrowed a simple navy dress from a neighbor of Tyler's, a kindergarten teacher who sized her with one glance and said, "Go get your life, honey." Outside Langston Tower, glass rose like a cold ocean. Isabel's reflection looked back, smaller, steadier. Tyler stopped at the curb. "You sure?" "Yes," she said. "I'm not running anymore." He squeezed her hand. "I'll be right here when you walk out." She stepped into the revolving doors. The lobby air was cool, perfumed with expensive flowers. Security glanced at her, then at the ID photo that still smiled like nothing hurt. The elevator climbed, a quiet throat clearing. When the doors opened on the boardroom floor, David was waiting, smile polished. "There you are," he said. "I was worried." "No," Isabel said. "You were inconvenienced." His nostrils flared. He gestured toward the boardroom. "They're waiting. Let's keep today tidy." "Let's," she said and walked past him. The boardroom's glass walls held the skyline like a trapped storm. Chairs scraped as Isabel stepped in, rain still clinging to the hem of her simple navy dress. David moved to the head of the table as if coronation were a habit. She didn't sit. She placed a slim folio on the lacquered surface and met each pair of eyes. 11 directors, 1 CFO, 2 legal counsels before she spoke. "I won't be signing the consolidation," she said. A director cleared his throat. "Isabel, let's not grandstand. We're here to review facts," she said, sliding copies from the folio with steady hands. "You'll want to see these before any vote." Paper whispered down the table. The CFO, Margaret Chen, paged through with a pen poised like a scalpel. Her tapping slowed, stopped. "These transfers," she murmured. "They're from the philanthropic fund to shell corporations owned by Langston Strategic," Isabel said. "Funds never returned." David's smile tightened without moving. Short-term liquidity in a volatile market. As everyone here understands, philanthropy can temporarily shoulder. "Not if it never comes back," Margaret cut in. She looked up, eyes colder. "These are serious. They're creative accounting," David said, letting the charm creep into his voice. "And this is a wife under stress." "Co-founder," Isabel corrected. She slid one last page forward, an email with his signature authorizing a transfer she never approved. "That signature? Forged." Silence pressed into the carpet. The compliance director pushed his chair back with a decisive screech. "I'm calling IT to freeze financial access and secure the servers." A vein flickered at David's temple. "Margaret, be sensible." Margaret raised her hand. "Motion to suspend David Langston's access pending an independent audit." "Seconded," the silver-haired director said, voice rough with anger. "Effective immediately." Hands lifted around the table, unexpected and unanimous. Isabel heard the vote like a door unlocking somewhere deep. David leaned toward her, voice low, eyes slick. "Think, Isabel. You don't survive without me." She let the words arrive and pass through. "I already did." Security appeared in the doorway, polite, implacable. Phones buzzed. Instructions were whispered. The boardroom's oxygen changed. David straightened his cufflinks the way he did before raising a glass, and for the first time the gesture looked small on him. "We're adjourned," Margaret said. Isabel left without looking back. The elevator exhaled her into the lobby. Outside, the air was rinsed clean. The city smelled like steel and wet newspaper. Tyler stood at the curb with both hands in his pockets, watching the doors as if willing them to part. When he saw her, relief softened every line of his face. "How'd it go?" "She'll live," Isabel said, and surprised herself by smiling. "He won't like it." "Good," Tyler said. "Want coffee or a victory soup?" "Soup," she said. "Tomato." Like a child. They found a diner 2 blocks down, all chrome and steamed windows. A waitress with tired eyeliner poured coffee before they asked. Tyler ordered grilled cheese for Lily later, Tomato soup and extra crackers for Isabel now. The bowl arrived, red and honest. She cupped it between her palms like a heater. You were shaking in there? He asked. I wasn't the only one, she said. They voted to suspend him. He let out a slow breath. Proud of you. Fear flared in her belly, stupid and human. I'm scared of the after. That's where most of us live, he said. After is just before something else. Steam fogged her lashes. She blinked it away. I want what I do next to matter. Not more glass offices. Something that makes the ground steady for other people. What would it look like? Not a shelter you leave in 3 days to go nowhere. A landing place. Legal help. Counseling. Job training. Daycare vouchers. Rooms with doors that lock and someone who says your name without an agenda. She swallowed. I know donors. I know paperwork. I can build the bones. And I can build the walls, he said, simple as a promise. Her mouth trembled. She steadied it with a smile. We're ridiculous. Planning a new world over soup. That's where most good revolutions start, he said. With something warm. She finished the last spoonful, shoulders lowering by degrees. Rain began again, gentle diamonds on the window. An old song leaked from the radio, the kind that knows how to find you. Outside the tower, reporters were setting up. Tyler paid the check, shielded her with his shoulder as they passed the lenses. She kept her eyes forward. One of the cameras caught her not flinching. Back at the apartment, Lily had built a blanket fort with 2 dining chairs and an alarming number of clothespins. You're back, she cried, darting out. Did the mean guy shrink? He looked smaller, Isabel admitted. Forts make bullies small, Lily declared, dragging them inside. The world narrowed to blanket light, crayon smell, and breathing close enough to hear. Lily handed Isabel a picture. 3 stick figures under a house with a crooked heart. One had a star for a hand. That's you, Lily said, tapping the star. You got the brave. Isabel swallowed. I borrowed it from you. Keep it, Lily said. I have extras. They laughed. It wasn't the tidy laugh of cocktail parties. It was the awkward, delicious kind that relieves pressure. Tyler's eyes caught hers across the fort's dim. Something unspoken and patient living there. Later, when Lily's fort collapsed in sleepy giggles and Tyler rebuilt it without comment, Isabel spread documents across the table. Lists of nonprofits, names of attorneys, a scratchy budget that bled into the margin. She called Asha Patel, who'd run a small women's center on the other side of the city. I want to build something that lasts, Isabel said. Not a photo op. Can I buy you coffee and humility? You can buy me coffee and paint, Asha replied. There's a craftsman for sale on Willow Street that wants to be useful. They toured the next morning. The house sagged modestly, all bones and potential. Light pooled on the hardwood like a quiet promise. Isabel stood in the kitchen and saw it furnished with the sort of hope that survives dishwater. Dented mugs, a kettle that keeps getting reheated because stories matter more than sips, a corkboard with job postings and scribbled phone numbers. She touched the wall as if reading Braille. What would you call it? Asha asked. Isabel looked at Lily, who was kneeling on the floor tracing a star with her finger. The Lily House, she said, because stars should be inside too. Asha smiled. Then let's swing hammers. They signed. Tyler arrived with a tool belt and 2 friends who owed him favors from a fire 3 springs ago. He hauled out soggy insulation. She hauled out decades of someone else's heaviness. She learned to sand and discovered sanding is just time you can hold. By day, she argued with inspectors, charmed a reluctant landlord into donating new windows, wrote a grant proposal so clear even the city clerk called to say, nice work. By night, she slept hard on the couch with constellations, a good ache tucked into her bones. News of David's suspension bled into headlines. He emailed once, Isabel, you've made your point. Let's be adults. She set a filter and let his confidence fall into a folder she'd never open. He sent a lawyer letter. Margaret forwarded it to compliance with a 1-line email. Please advise. The attorney's reply, advise him to stop digging. At dusk one Thursday, while Tyler installed baseboard in the common room and Lily painted small stars on the hallway ceiling. A woman in a green coat stood hesitating in the doorway. A bruise bloomed fading purple along one cheekbone. "Are you open?" she asked, voice folded small. "We open soon," Isabel said, wiping her hands. "But the kettle works today." The woman's chin buckled.
I'm Eva.
"I'm Isabel," she said, already guiding her toward a chair.
Thea.
"Please," Eva whispered, hands trembling as if they were trying to shake something off. Tyler set a towel around her shoulders without commentary. Lily pressed a star sticker into her palm, matter of fact. "For brave," Lily said. Eva cried the way people cry when they finally sit. They called the partner shelter with an open bed, wrote down legal clinic hours, jotted a phone number on a neon post-it and stuck it to the back of Eva's hand because sometimes that's the only place you're sure not to lose something. Before she left, Eva hugged Isabel quick and fierce. "I'll come back," she said, "to help, when I can stand without wobbling." "You can wobble here," Isabel said. "We have walls." They locked up late, fairy lights winking across fresh paint. Tyler wiped dust from his forearm with the corner of his shirt. Isabel reached out without thinking and smoothed the spot his rag missed. He stilled, not because she touched him, but because she didn't pull away fast. "How's the ankle?" he asked. "Better," she said. "Sometimes it hurts when nothing is wrong. Muscle memory. Bodies remember everything," he said. "We just teach them new stories." "Teach mine," she said, quiet. He looked at her mouth, then at her eyes. "Slowly," he said. Headlights slid along the curb. A black car idled, door opening like a yawn. David stepped out flanked by two men with wolfish patience. He took in the sign they'd taped to the window, "Opening soon." He laughed under his breath. "You really traded a tower for this." "Glass breaks," Isabel said. "Houses hold." He drifted closer. "Your charity will starve when your name rots on the news. Then strangers will feed it," Tyler said, moving only enough to be between them without blocking her view. "Strangers do that." David's eyes flicked to Tyler. "Firemen," he said softly. "I remember men like you. You think staying is a virtue." "It is," Tyler said. "Oh, Isabel," David murmured, eyes back on her. "He'll get tired." "I won't," Tyler said. Windows glowed on the block. People listened without trying to. David felt the street turn against him. The smile failed completely. "You don't know the cost yet," he said. "We're paying it together," Isabel replied. He returned to the car with a flick of his hand that would have been elegant if it weren't so useless. The engine hummed. Taillights smeared red across wet pavement, then vanished. Isabel realized she'd been holding her breath. She let it go and felt joy, small but alive, rush in to claim the space. Tyler didn't touch her. He didn't need to. His presence made the air wider. Inside, Lily stood with a flashlight held high, a small lighthouse. "Did we win?" she asked. "We stayed," Isabel said. "That's winning." If you want more stories where people hold the line for each other, hit subscribe now, like this video, and tell us in the comments. What act of kindness changed your day? Your voice helps this story find someone who needs it tonight. Back at the apartment, she spread donor lists, Asha's scribbled timelines, and a budget so lean it squeaked. Tyler brewed tea and set a mug by her elbow in the same place every time, the ritual settling into both of them like breath. He looked over her shoulder. "We need cabinet doors," he said, "and a better porch light. We need a name on the city permit that tells the truth," she said. "We need a lawyer who believes the word safe belongs in contracts." "We need pancakes," Lily announced, hair a crown of paint specks. "That too," Isabel said, laughing. They worked until the clock scolded them. When she finally slid under the constellation's blanket, she knew what tomorrow would be. Calls, paint, a kettle reheated 3 times, and one small house learning to be a universe. Outside, rain softened to a hush. Somewhere across town, a tower's lights clicked off one by one, a constellation conceding the sky. It rained the morning Isabel signed the final inspection papers. Not the violent kind that chased her through alleys once, but a soft, steady rhythm that seemed to bless the old house on Willow Street. The inspector, an older man with a kind mustache, closed his clipboard and said, "You're good to go, Mrs. Monroe. Or should I say, Director Monroe?" "Just Isabel," she said, shaking his hand. "Thank you." Tyler was on the porch, hammer in hand, finishing the railing. Lily knelt nearby, pressing yellow star stickers along the banister. "They make it brave," she said proudly. "They make it beautiful," Isabel replied, stepping into the light drizzle. The air smelled of pine and fresh paint. "We open in 3 days. Can you believe that?" Tyler grinned. "I can. You've been running on pure willpower since we started. I'm just trying to keep up." She smiled, wiping a streak of rain from her cheek. "You've done more than that, Tyler. You've given this place its bones." He rested the hammer on his shoulder. "And you gave it a soul." She felt something flutter in her chest at the words but didn't answer. There were still checklists, donors to thank, schedules to finalize. Feelings could wait, work couldn't. A knock on the half-painted door interrupted them. It was Asha Patel, clipboard under her arm, umbrella dripping on the porch. "I have the volunteer roster," she announced. "And 2 new applications, one from a social worker, one from a nurse. Oh, and Isabel, a reporter from Channel 7 wants an interview on opening day. You ready for the spotlight again?" Isabel hesitated. "Maybe, but I'll talk about the house, not myself." Asha smiled knowingly. "You've changed, my friend." The old Isabel would have polished her speech 3 days ago. "The old Isabel didn't have paint in her hair," Isabel said, laughing softly. Inside, the house buzzed with motion. Volunteers assembled furniture, scrubbed windows, and arranged donated books on shelves Tyler had built from reclaimed wood. A mural of constellations and lilies stretched across one wall. Lily's idea, of course. She stood back now, hands on hips, surveying her work. "It needs more stars." "You'll run out of stickers," Tyler teased. "Then I'll draw them," Lily said firmly. "The house needs to shine." By noon, Isabel was exhausted. She found herself sitting on the front steps beside Tyler, sharing a thermos of coffee. The rain had stopped, leaving puddles that mirrored the sky. Across the street, an old woman waved from her porch. "It's looking lovely, dear." "Thank you," Isabel called back. Tyler leaned closer. "You realize the neighborhood's talking about you, right? The lady who turned a broken building into something beautiful." "I don't want them to talk about me," she said quietly. "I want them to talk about what happens here." He nodded. "They will. You can't fake this kind of purpose." Just then, a hesitant figure appeared at the gate. A woman with tired eyes and a faded scarf around her neck. She held a duffel bag close to her chest. Isabel stood immediately, instinct guiding her. "Hi," she said gently. "Are you looking for someone?" The woman's voice trembled. "I saw the sign. I don't have anywhere to go." Isabel's throat tightened. "You're early," she said softly. "But we're here." She gestured to the porch. "Come inside. You can rest while we figure things out." The woman blinked rapidly, trying not to cry. "I'm Claire." "Welcome, Claire," Isabel said. "I'm Isabel. This is Tyler, and that's Lily." "Hi." Lily waved enthusiastically. "You can have tea. We have cookies too. But Dad says I shouldn't eat them all." Claire laughed. A sound halfway between disbelief and relief. "Tea sounds perfect." Inside, the kettle sang while Tyler laid a blanket across Claire's shoulders. Isabel found a quiet pride rising inside her. This simple act was what she had always wanted to build. After Claire left for a nearby shelter they partnered with, Isabel lingered by the door. Rain tapped softly on the glass. Tyler came to stand beside her. "You okay?" She nodded. "She reminded me of myself that night. The fear. The not knowing where safe is." "You gave her a map," he said. "Even if it's just a start." Isabel looked up at him, the corners of her mouth curving. "You always know what to say." He shrugged. "I just listen." The moment stretched, fragile and full. Isabel turned away before it could become too much. Come on. We still have chairs to fix. 2 nights later, thunder rolled across the city like slow applause. Isabel worked late, typing thank you letters and filing receipts under the soft hum of fairy lights. The air smelled of new wood and hope. Tyler appeared in the doorway, wiping his hands on a rag. Still here? He asked. I could ask you the same. He smiled. You need to rest. I'll rest after we open. He crossed the room and set a mug beside her keyboard. Drink this. Doctor's orders. She took a sip. Chamomile. You're not a doctor. Firefighter, carpenter, part-time tea therapist, he said, sitting opposite her. Multi-talented. She laughed quietly. You're impossible. And you're brave, he said softly. You think I don't see it, but I do. Every day. Her chest tightened again. I'm not brave, Tyler. I'm just trying to survive differently this time. That's what bravery looks like. The power flickered, plunging the room into brief darkness. She startled, the old fear rushing back before she could stop it. Tyler's hand found hers in the dark, steady and warm. It's okay, he murmured. Breaker's loose. I'll fix it. When the lights returned, she realized she was still holding his hand. She pulled back slowly, heart thudding. Sorry. Don't be, he said, smiling softly. It's good to know we're both still human. The next morning brought chaos. Volunteers arriving early, news cameras setting up outside, Asha barking orders with military precision. Isabel barely had time to breathe before the reporter from Channel 7 approached her with a microphone. Isabel Monroe, former CEO turned founder of the Lily House. The reporter began. Why this project? Isabel hesitated, glancing at the sign above the door. Because people need more than safety, she said. They need belonging. A place where broken doesn't mean finished. The reporter nodded approvingly. Beautifully said. Inside, the grand opening began. The front room buzzed with laughter and nervous energy. Donors mingled with neighbors, volunteers, and women who had once stood where Isabel had. The carved wooden sign Tyler made, "You are safe here," hung above the entryway. Lily tugged Isabel's sleeve. You have to do a speech, right?
I suppose I do.
Then say thank you and tell them about pancakes, Lily said seriously. Pancakes. Everyone loves pancakes, Lily said. They make people listen. Isabel smiled. I'll keep that in mind. When Asha clinked her mug to call attention, the room fell quiet. Isabel stepped forward, nerves humming like electricity. She scanned the crowd, her gaze landing on Tyler in the back. Arms crossed, watching her with quiet pride. Thank you for coming, she began. Lily House started as an idea written on a diner napkin. I wanted to build a place where fear ends at the door. Today, that place stands because of all of you. Applause rippled softly. Isabel continued, her voice growing stronger. This house isn't about escape. It's about what comes after. It's where women can rebuild, not just their lives, but their belief that they matter. She paused, emotion catching her. Someone once told me that bodies remember everything. Maybe that's true. But I think hearts do too. And sometimes they remember how to heal. The room was silent for a heartbeat, then filled with clapping. Lily cheered loudest of all. As Isabel stepped down, Eva appeared from the crowd, the same woman who'd come bruised and trembling weeks before. Her eyes were clear now, her hair shorter, her smile real. You remember me? She asked. I'll never forget, Isabel said. Eva held out her hand. Thank you for this. Isabel squeezed it. You're why it exists. By evening, when the last guest left and the fairy lights flickered gently above the porch, Tyler found Isabel sitting on the steps, shoes kicked off, staring at the quiet street. Big day, he said. The biggest, she replied. And it's only the beginning. He sat beside her, their shoulders brushing lightly. You made something incredible, Isabel. We did, she corrected. All of us. He turned toward her. I meant you. You turned pain into purpose. Not everyone can do that. Her breath caught. The night air was cool, carrying the scent of rain-soaked earth. Tyler, He smiled faintly. You don't have to say anything. Just know that I'm here. However you need me. She nodded, eyes shining. Thank you. Inside, Lily called sleepily from the window.
Dad, Isabel, come in.
It's bedtime. The stars are waiting. Tyler chuckled. You heard the boss. They stood, side by side, stepping into the soft glow of the house they built. The sign above the door gleamed faintly, a promise written in wood and light. If this story touched your heart, remember to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who believes in second chances. Your support helps stories like this reach more people who need hope. Isabel sat on the edge of the bed. Maybe the dream wasn't bad, she said gently. Maybe it was telling you that doors open when you're ready. Lily yawned, half smiling. Can you stay till I sleep? Always, Isabel said. When she finally closed her eyes, Tyler turned to Isabel, voice low. You're good with her. She makes it easy, Isabel whispered. She reminds me of what hope looks like when it's small enough to hold. They stood watching Lily breathe for a long moment. Then Tyler touched Isabel's arm lightly, guiding her back downstairs. The house felt different in the quiet. Not empty, but full of the lives it would soon shelter. She's lucky to have you, Isabel said softly. She saved me first, he replied. After my wife died, I stopped seeing light in anything. Lily dragged me back. Then you showed up, running through the rain, and I remembered what it felt like to move toward someone instead of away. Isabel blinked, her throat tightening. Tyler. He met her gaze, steady and kind. I'm not asking for an answer tonight. I just needed you to know. She set her mug down and stepped closer. You don't have to ask, she whispered. You already saved me. Not from him, from forgetting who I was. For a moment, neither moved. The fairy lights flickered. Rain began again, soft as breath. Then she reached for his hand. He held it like something rare, not fragile but precious. I don't know what this is, she said, voice trembling. But I know it's real. Then we'll build it, he said. Slow, honest, one day at a time. They stood there, two souls who had been broken in different ways, learning that healing wasn't a finish line. It was a rhythm. That night, the city felt lighter, as if even the clouds had unclenched. The Lily house stood softly lit, the last of the volunteers gone home, the walls still humming with laughter and new beginnings. Isabel lingered in the main room, fingertips tracing the carved sign above the entryway. You are safe here. It didn't feel like a slogan anymore. It felt like truth. Tyler entered quietly, sleeves rolled up, carrying 2 mugs of tea. Couldn't sleep either? He asked. I don't think my mind's realized it's over, she said, smiling faintly. For years I thought peace would be silence. Turns out it sounds like voices in a room that used to echo. He handed her a mug. Peace is noisy sometimes. That's how you know it's alive. They stood side by side, the fairy lights above flickering like distant stars. Lily had drawn a new picture that now hung on the wall. A bright yellow house with open doors and stick figures holding hands. One of them had a star in her palm. I talked to Eva before she left, Isabel said softly. She wants to volunteer here full-time once she finishes her classes. She'll be amazing, Tyler said. People who've been through storms know how to build roofs that don't leak. Isabel laughed quietly, the sound tired but free. You always say things that make sense after I've been overthinking for hours. Occupational hazard, he said. I used to put out fires. Now I just stop you from burning out. She looked at him, eyes soft. You've done more than that. He tilted his head. Have I? Before she could answer, Lily's sleepy voice drifted from upstairs. Dad. Isabel. They climbed the creaky staircase to find her sitting up in bed, rubbing her eyes. Bad dream, she mumbled. Tyler knelt beside her. Want to tell me about it? There was a big door, and I couldn't open it, Lily said, frowning. Then a light came, and it opened by itself. The stars went inside. The following weeks flowed gently. The Lily house filled with life. Laughter in the kitchen, stories whispered over tea. the clatter of donated mugs. Each woman who entered carried her own shadow, and each day the light grew stronger. Isabel worked endlessly. Meetings with donors, interviews, late nights balancing budgets. Tyler fixed what broke, built what didn't exist, and somehow made every corner feel warm. Lily drew new constellations on the hallway wall, each star representing someone's name. One morning, Asha burst into Isabel's office holding a newspaper. "You'll want to see this," she said, dropping it on the desk. Front page. Langston indicted on fraud and embezzlement charges. Internal documents provided by co-founder. Isabel stared at the headline, heart steady. "It's done," she whispered. "Justice takes its time," Asha said. But it got there. That evening, Isabel met Tyler and Lily at the park. The air smelled of wet grass and cinnamon from a nearby cafe. Lily raced ahead, chasing pigeons that refused to be caught. Tyler handed Isabel a paper cup of hot chocolate. "You're officially free," he said. "I think I've been free for a while," she said. "Today just made it official." He smiled. "So what's next?" "Living," she said simply. "Really living." Lily returned, holding a dandelion. "Make a wish," she said. Isabel blew softly. The seeds scattered like silver dust, drifting upward. "I don't need to," she said. "I already got mine." They walked back to the Lily house together. Inside, the lights glowed warm. Eva was painting a new mural, hands reaching toward each other beneath a field of stars. Claire was organizing the kitchen, humming under her breath. The air smelled like pancakes and fresh starts. Tyler stopped at the doorway, looking around. "It's becoming what you dreamed. It's becoming what we built," she corrected. He turned to her then, expression open, raw. "Isabel, She didn't let him finish. She stepped closer and kissed him. It was gentle, hesitant, but filled with everything they hadn't said. Gratitude, forgiveness, the quiet relief of being understood. When they pulled back, he rested his forehead against hers. "I've wanted to do that since the rain," he whispered. "I know," she said. "So have I." Lily's voice rang out from the kitchen. Grown-ups are weird." They laughed until their sides ached. Weeks later, the Lily house held its first community celebration. The rooms were full, music, dancing, stories, children weaving between chairs. A new plaque hung beside the entrance, dedicated to every woman who learned to walk again. During the ceremony, Isabel stood before the crowd. "When we started this," she said, "I thought healing meant forgetting. I was wrong. Healing means remembering who you were before the hurt, and giving that version of yourself a place to come home to." Applause filled the air, and somewhere in the crowd, Lily shouted, "Tell them about the pancakes." Laughter rippled through the room. Tyler raised a mug in salute. Isabel smiled through tears. Later that night, when the guests were gone and the lights dimmed, she stepped outside. The city stretched before her, not as a battlefield anymore, but as a home. Tyler joined her, slipping an arm around her shoulders. "Look," he said. "Stars." She tilted her head back. The sky was full of them, bright and endless. "You ever think about that night?" she asked. "The alley, the rain?" "Every day," he said. "Because if I'd turned left instead of right, we wouldn't be here." She smiled. "I think fate has good aim." He brushed a strand of hair from her face. "You're walking again," he said softly. "I am," she said. "And not just with my legs." They stood there, hands intertwined, watching the constellations Lily had drawn on the porch ceiling shimmer in the light. Behind them, the Lily house breathed, a heartbeat of second chances. If you believe in the power of love, healing, and starting again, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with someone who needs hope tonight. Every comment, every share, helps stories like this reach another heart that's ready to heal.